What is going on, Metaverse? Animositas here with Annie Knows, and a clip from the latest episode of our Gaming on the Block podcast. The full episode is linked in the description below, so make sure to check it out. So with no further ado, let's see what Annie and my co-hosts know about Web3 gaming.
But yeah, so again, going back to the whole user-created content for games, I think it's a given, man. Well, what do you think, Annie? What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept when you add Web3 elements to it, because if we step back, user-generated content is basically an open source building model for gaming, or let's just say entertainment in general as an industry. Gaming is just one application of it, but it's really just taking this decentralized model and applying it to the entertainment sector. And we've seen decentralization, if anything, has been the entire theme of the 2010s plus, whether you're talking about decentralization of rides with Uber and Lyft, or decentralization of housing with Airbnb and stuff. It's the same thing now in content creation. The interesting part is right now, if you want to be monetized or to make any money from user-generated content, generally you're having to go through some third-party intermediary, and you're having to take whatever that percentage is that they're giving to you, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to build YouTube content or TikTok or or Twitch or whatever, you're at the mercy of whatever the percentage is that those platforms are willing to give back to you. And that means that in many cases, I think people are disincentivized from doing so, because most of the value is accruing to the platform layer, not to the content creators. And I would say the promise of NFTs around art and art developers is, oh, you can keep basically all of the profits of whatever you make, and you're not having to pay 10, 20, 50, 70% of your profits back to someone who basically is serving as a middleman.
Yeah.
Now, again, there's importance in some cases for those platforms providing an audience or reach, but most of the time it's not worth the total amount that you see. So what I'm really eager is there's a number of projects that have been experimenting, and it's early days, but if I give you a game and you can create a level in it, and that level that you build is now an NFT, you can monetize that. Right.
Yeah.
You can immediately monetize that and take 90 whatever percent of the value and have that accrue back to you, not to the developers that built the platform and the infrastructure for the game. And so now all of a sudden you've got the power of decentralization and open source on one hand, and then you've got the monetization and individual builder ownership on the other hand, with Web3 elements that you can combine in the gaming space. And that's a really powerful mix. So I'm really eager to see. I haven't seen anything really substantial yet in this wave 2 of Web3 games where someone is super leaning into only user-generated content. There's a few projects.
Sandbox is the only one that I can really think of.
Yeah, in Blankos you see a lot of it too, where you can create different levels.
Yeah, that is fair. So I think a lot of these games, I would say they're kind of experimenting on the margins for it. I think Sandbox's business model is more or less, we're going to convince all of the Web 2 companies and projects that we're the place to be. I don't really think their platform is actually designed for building entertaining gameplay. That's kind of the problem with Sandbox. And so
maybe we're just old, man, because like Dad said, I just had a chat with this sounds so bad. I had a chat with a kid, one of the kids that was making content on Illuvium. He's like 9 years old, and he was like, I made him a promise, if he made 3 pieces of content, I'd go on his channel. He did. And I was just talking to him about games that him and his friends play, and they're super into Roblox and Minecraft. So maybe the whole Sandbox thing is we don't think it's engaging gameplay, but maybe these kids do, man. Clearly they do. There's something about these games that they're really into.
They certainly do. My son also is heavily into Minecraft. Here's the problem though, is if you're a 6 to 10-year-old, you also don't have disposable income in general. And so while I agree that that's engaging gameplay mechanics for kids at that age, I think that's more of a gateway or an entrance into more robust gameplay mechanics. And from a dollar standpoint, there's only so many times you can ask your parents for another $5 to buy a level before they're going to be like, no, this, I'm out. Now, maybe the argument is, well, if you get to own that level and you can sell it to somebody else, all of a sudden this is the equivalent of my first lemonade stand. Now I'm a Roblox or Minecraft trader as an 8-year-old. I mean, who knows? Maybe this changes the game dramatically for parents who will let their kids spend more as long as they can own and flip the stuff. But I think in general, that's the good example of how this can be applied, and we need to see it applied for more I would say meaningful and more sustainable gameplay mechanics.